enough times pass, the next one opens up, and so on and so forth. And it's so convenient, honestly, to tune an Anycubic machine. It takes only a few minutes, whereas like yours, Elegoo machines, everyone else, you got to do one print. Okay, fine. Load up the next one. Print it again. Yeah, it's a bit better. And
it's too complicated.
Takes too long
to do that. Yeah, it
yeah.
takes too long.
And so most people don't want to do it.
That's a really good suggestion, and I think this is not something
Honestly,
really hard to do.
Build it into your slicer Halot Box, and make it so we can choose the starting time, say like 1.1, and then choose the increment, 0.25, 0.5, 0.1, whatever. And you guys will have the best exposure range finding feature that will just instantly destroy everyone else, and everyone will be rushing to like catch up to Creality, who have the best exposure. and you can do that with software. Like probably you probably got a guy who could code it this weekend. You know.
I'm so glad you bring that point. I think this is
very good suggestions.
Yeah, I think this is exactly something that we would like to show to the higher management.
This video contains coarse language. Righto. It is time to look at the new generation of Creality Halot Mage. This one's the S, and you reckon they listened? I hope so. What about you, Pippin? Yeah, I hope they listened, because I got a ton of resins I got to calibrate for this video, and I'm going to be calibrating them to dimensional accuracy. Yay! So let's hope Creality hasn't made that a painful experience for me. Now, I don't know anything about this machine, except that my favorite swingy door ever returns. I love this thing. It's beautiful. Let's get into it. Come on, buddy. Yes. Beautiful. I'm not sure I did that the right way, but there it is. Ah, okay. That's not really surprising, but another entry into the 14K lineup. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna complain about resolution again. Is this gonna be like your K1? Is this sticky tape gonna leave a horrible residue? Hey, lucky. Just grab that, pop it up. Amazing. Okay, spare FEP. That's wonderful. Every 3D printer should come with a spare FEP. Good job, Creality. Got a little baggie. Inside the baggie, we have quick install guide, some Chinese stuff. Yours will probably be English. Metal spatula, plastic spatula, a 1-year license to Chitubox Pro, and a USB stick. Allen keys, filters with a little wire mesh. Very nice. And this is a very, very cool inclusion by Creality. You don't really see this from many resin printer manufacturers, but this little tube of grease. And it's just a nice to have. Ah, yes. I forgot about this. Okay, so it looks like this carries through to the new generation. Good shit. Power cord. Ooh, Aussie one. And our build plate. Oh no. I complained about this as well to them. Actually, yeah, one sec. Let me get this powered on. I'll show you exactly what I complained about. Okay, watch how good these friction hinges are. Look at that. Look at that. Absolutely phenomenal. Every resin printer should have this. This is so good. There's going to be no accidental like bumping the machine and it coming down and slamming on your fingers. Like, it just holds. It's so good. I love it. This is my favorite swingy door. The only way it could be better is if it didn't protrude, you know, past the back of the machine here, making the footprint effectively deeper. USB ports on the front. One of them I think is for wireless or something. I don't know, that's a bit strange. LCD on the back. I love this. It's got an inbuilt power supply, so we only need to connect our kettle cord, I learned. Very interesting. So power, nice and easy, just like that. Are we gonna get the little dancing man? Yeah, there he is. Why has that got a little thingy on it? Oh. Okay, Creality, something. Welcome to use the Halot series 3D printers. Please select the language and area. English, international area. Thank you for choosing Creality products. I agree. Wonder what happens if I don't agree. All right, touchscreen seems really nice. It's working as you would hope, detecting all of my presses and they seem accurate. Connection success. Log into Creality Cloud. Ah, shit. Hang on. No, I don't want to. Okay, cool. All right, let's have a look. Settings, other settings, time lapse. I'm guessing there's a camera upgrade that you can do to this printer. Mine hasn't come with a camera. Maintenance. Okay, it keeps track of print hours and then recommends when you should change certain elements. Mine also hasn't come with the resin pump, thank God. I'm yet to see a resin auto feeding system that makes sense. So just don't include them, please, manufacturers. Custom skin. Okay, let's just leave it up. If they programmed in custom skins and didn't program in exposure range finding, I'm gonna flip. No, I'm gonna flip this printer into the bin. Settings, cleaning, we got our vat clean. Time lapse, unless there's a camera built in, I'm just not seeing it. Print settings, print mode. Oh yeah, Dynax. Dynax is very cool. I will turn that on. AP system, air purification, right. That's cool that that's there. And that works on automatic, manual. Oh yeah, I heard the fan come on. Halot Box, camera monitoring, right, okay. But I don't think there's a camera in this unit. I don't see one. Print parameters, bunch of defaults. Good that you can change those on the fly. There's settings for the resin feeding, but obviously that's not connected. Let's get that build plate up and out of the way. Whoa, okay. Seriously? Oh, they still got that speed dialed way the hell up. Yeah, they don't have like fine controls for your Z height. You've just got reset position, which sends it all the way to the top, or you've got leveling, which then brings it down, and you can hit stop if you want it to stop at a certain point like that. So yeah, you can work around it, whatever. This is cool. In the very top behind here is a little sensor so that the machine knows when the build plate gets to the top. Other machines will actually let you force the build plate through the tops of the machine, which is not great. But yeah, the thing I whinged about this build plate, you can essentially mount it either way. So it's easy to forget which way it's supposed to go. And I think, yeah, from memory, it goes with the hole toward the front. But yeah, you can easily just turn it around. Oh, they have fixed it. Okay. It wasn't like that on the last one. The previous generation let me flip that both ways. And on this generation, they've solved it with this little bolt. So fair enough. Is that the best mounting system? No. No, it's not. The ones that have some sort of latch are the best. Rather than having to twist a knob, it's just a nice convenience. Let's see, Hey Gears have one. GK2 has one from Uniformation. And I think the new Saturn might have one too. So, but whatever, this works. It's solid, can't complain. We've got the 4-bolt leveling mechanism, tried and true, if a little annoying. So that's fine, no complaints there. Yeah, I don't see any camera. But in the back, we have a carbon filter and a fan. And there's a little exhaust port on the back, which you can hook up this hose to. Goes on like that. And then this, from memory, is not super long. Maybe like a meter. Yeah, there you go. So it's about a meter long. So you'll want to put this thing near a window. But yeah, really nice inclusion by Creality here. Makes it easy to vent your machine outdoors. I've just noticed on the back as well, there's an Ethernet port if you don't want to connect to wireless. And our vat uses 2 thumb screws and they're captive. That's nice. Check that out. Where you going? Nowhere. And it looks like, it might be hard to see, but it looks like Creality have lined that hole with some, looks like extra FEP material, the same material that the FEP is made of, which, by the way, looks like it's an ACF film, I think that is. Is that the ACF? I personally haven't noticed any issues with these cloudy FEPs. But yeah, that's potentially a nice little addition, that plastic, because if any resin ends up getting down in that hole, it's not gonna gum this up, hopefully. It's a metal vat, aluminium, I believe. Max fill line in the back, as well as a half full line, so 500 ml and 1 liter. There's actually no feet on this vat. So when you place this vat down on a surface like this table, the bottom of the FEP is touching the surface of the table. So that's not great. And then on the actual like build deck itself, there are these little looks like metal. Yeah, these little metal ridges. These are what are going to help you line up the vat and hold it in place. So I would have preferred to have seen some little feet on there, but that's okay. Oh, and it looks like the back two corners here have been shaped with a little bit of a spout to them. So that's hopefully going to help with emptying the vat. We will test that, unfortunately. Okay, at the back of the machine, you got dual linear rails. That's nice, as well as our lead screw, which is not a ball screw and doesn't appear to have been well greased. So thankfully, we have some grease, so we can do that now. I wonder if it's cheaper for them to include this than to have someone on the assembly line grease those rails. So this is probably white lithium grease. Ooh, look at it. Lovely. Is that too much? So I'm just going to rub it in a little bit, and then I will home the machine. Here it comes. All right, that should be pretty well greased now. Definitely not the most intuitive user interface from Creality still, unfortunately. It's this issue of things being buried in menus where you wouldn't expect them to be. So like to move the Z carriage, right? You got to go to settings, and then I think it was print settings? Yeah, and then Z axis move. And so what are we looking for? Actually, what we should do right now is have a look at the advertised features and see what Creality are claiming about this machine. Right, so the camera is an upgrade that you can buy separate, same as the resin pump. I don't recommend that. It's just extra shit to clean. And if you're pumping from a bottle, you don't know how much is in the bottle, so it's kind of, yeah. And then it makes removing the vat more complicated and messy. It's just, trust me, just fill up. If you're printing something huge that's going to take more than one vat full of resin, just make a note to come back midway through that print and top it up manually. It's really easy, low mess, take you 2 seconds, and then you don't have to fart around with all this extra crap. Not a good implementation, I think, of a resin pump. The air purifier is fantastic, and I've just scrolled through this whole sales pitch thing. There is nothing here there's no like fancy new features or technology being pushed here other than the 14K screen. So yeah, a bit of a lackluster upgrade, that's for sure, from Creality. But it should still be a solid base of a printer. Like you wouldn't be unhappy with it if you bought one. You know, it's going to have gorgeous prints. You're just going to have to put up with a slightly unintuitive UI, and you don't get an easy exposure calibration function. And but there's a lot to like here. You got the best swingy door in the business, built-in ventilation, super fast print speeds if you want to play around with the Dynax thing, which I recommend. It's pretty sweet. Oh, one thing I did notice here is I was wrong about the release film. It's not ACF, or it might be, but they're calling it something else. They're calling it the Pictor release film, or Pictor, if you're Aussie. Yeah, mate, got that Pictor installed on this one. It's fucking sick. And then the spare FEP, they're saying, is not one of these Pictor release films, and it's just a standard regular speed printing release film. So, whatever. Okay, so Creality aren't claiming any sort of self-leveling or smart sensors under the LCD or anything like that. So we are going to loosen these off, and we are going to do a manual leveling, which is totally fine by me. These are 4mm hex bolts, and we're going to level this straight in the vat. So there we go. That's loose. Now I will hit leveling. So that should now be ready to level. Machines that come from the factory claiming to be self-leveling, that's all well and good. But really, leveling resin machines, at least if they have a mechanism like this or the Elegoo spring-loaded ball joint, these are just so easy to level that you don't really need that self-leveling stuff. Like resin printers, there's nothing to it, literally. Just, do you see what I'm doing right now? I'm just tightening this up, and I can almost guarantee it will be level. And just to be extra thorough, tighten it down with a bit of force, and it should stay level forever. Or, not forever, but a really long time. That should be pretty good. One thing I want to check is our build surface, which looks nice. It has a subtle pattern to it. It looks to be pretty damn flat, which is good. It's what you want. So, okay, I think we're ready to start printing. Let's head to the computer and check out Halot Box, see if it's improved at all. So I'm going to be so stoked if they've integrated some kind of exposure calibration tool into their slicer. We didn't see it in the settings on the printer, So this is your last hope, Creality. It better be here, otherwise I'm going to be so fucking cranky. I'm sick of it. It's such a deterrent to using multiple resins, and then having it is so convenient. And oh god, everything's in Chinese. How do I make you English? Aha, there it is. Okay, we're in English. Great. You know, it's not a bad looking slicer. Halot Box. I'll give them that. We've got some hotkeys. One of the things I'd love to be able to do with this is set hotkeys. So like at the moment they've got some that make sense, like R for rotate, but it'd be really nice to customize them. So some feedback for Creality on your slicer. I think I said this last time I was in here. Let us customize the hotkeys. And also, if you want a lot of people to use this slicer, Creality, something you could do would be to integrate really powerful manual support tools. Forget about auto supports. I don't think you can do it. I mean, feel free to prove me wrong. I would love to see a fantastic auto supports algorithm from Creality. But just open up Lychee and just find someone who knows what they're doing with the manual support tools in Lychee, and then just copy those because they're great. And then we can have a free version and stop having to pay subscription fees to Lychee. But otherwise, I always just tell folks, use whatever slicer comes with your printer. It's free. It's just for slicing models, so it doesn't have to be complicated. But when it comes to doing manual supports, Lychee is king. Chitubox is pretty sweet too, but Lychee is definitely better. So calibration, can we calibrate? Okay, so we're going to calibrate for dimensional accuracy. And the reason we're doing that is for not so much this video, but the next video, which is going to be comparing some resins that are marketed as high detail resins versus just your stock standard resins and tough resins and things like that. Just a nice, quick, easy video just to see if it's marketing bullshit or if there's some truth to it. Okay, we need to add the printer. Almost forgot. So we're using the Halot mage-S, which is this one here. So we'll add that, and we're going to use Dynax because it's there and it's awesome, and we're going to do it. For some reason, on the configuration here, it's locked, and I can't do anything. So those two factory profiles you can't fuck with. They're locked out. So we're going to make our own, and this all looks fine to me. We're going to start at 2.5 and slice. How long is this going to take? 25 minutes. Oh, and there's no calibration tool, by the way. So the machine's connected to Wi-Fi, so we'll check if we can send a print to it from the slicer in a second. Another thing I don't like about this UI is it doesn't provide an exposure check. It does have cleaning, so if we run cleaning, we can see that our UV light works, and we can hear that the fan is on. So that's a good little diagnostic, but it would just be that bit better if it would also create a mask too. Sort of like Elegoo does, or Uniformation. Something that lets you easily see that your LCD is working okay. Okay, yeah, so we got Wi-Fi connection on the machine. Upload. What does this do? Cannot be completed without logging into Creality Cloud. Do you want to log in? No. Whenever I do any Wi-Fi stuff, I want it to be on my local network. I don't want to involve remote offshore servers. God damn it, it's so annoying. Gotta remember my account details. One sec. Cloud, anything sucks. Fight me. He says logging into his cloud password manager. Okay, here we go. Log in to the cloud. Okay, yeah, so if I upload this to the cloud and I then log into the cloud on the printer, I think I can grab this from the printer, but I'm more interested in controlling the printer remotely from another device, like the desktop or my phone, I guess. But really, who's sending prints to their printers from their phones? Is anyone doing that? Monitoring a print from your phone is cool, like Clipper, checking the webcam, that kind of thing. Okay, so it's on the cloud. That's great. But like, what about, what if I hit print? Password error. Okay, it's picking it up on my home network, but what's this password error? What is the password to my printer? Yeah, not sure about that. So I'm just gonna save this slice to a USB and just plug it into the machine. That's going to be the easier way. All right, so fuck Wi-Fi. We can plug this in on the front here, and hopefully under print, yeah, here we go. We can see that file there. There's also this. I didn't put that there, so that must be on some local storage built into the printer. So that's cool. What is that? Huh. Got a file preview, but it's hard to tell what I'm looking at. Cones. Okay, so it's imported it to its local memory. Oh, I see. It's on the left now. And then you can print with the file parameters that you sliced it with or whatever's inside the printer. So that's interesting. If we go file parameters, we can still tweak them, right? Yes. Yes, we can. So that's cool. I like that. That is going to make figuring out our exposure at least slightly easier. We don't have to then reslice for each different exposure value. So that's good. Yeah, let's get some resin in here and tune it up. First up on the chopping block today is Sunlu ABS-like. I finally got some. Sunlu were kind enough to send me some. I really loved their toughness resin, but some of the feedback I've received from other people who've tried toughness and Anycubic Tough Resin Ultra is that those resins are a little bit too tough. And so when it comes to spindly details like swords and that kind of thing, it can just be a little bit too bendy. And everything I've heard about this is it's basically perfect for minis. Good durability, decent stiffness. So I'm keen to try this for myself. Really, I should be printing my, rafts of adhesion first and make sure I got my bed level. But I'm feeling reasonably confident. So we're just going to cut straight to calibration. And hopefully that's going to be fine. Ready, set, start. Look at this. It's a speed demon. Maybe they leave it this fast when it goes up just to like impress you and make you go, whoa, look at it go. I am speed. Going in. Stunning. We'll come back in a second after it's done the burn-in layers and see how quickly it's doing each layer. I remember on the last one, Dynax was like intense. You seeing this? Oh, you know what else I should do? I should adapt my fume extractor for it and chuck that on MakerWorld for you all. Let's do that. Righto, print's done. Let's take a look. You see that okay? How about now? So we got cones and we got enough Merilabs. One of, I don't know how many of these I'm going to have to print. Bloody hell, Creality. You don't make it easy. So, okay, rather than film this process of printing a million calibration parts, I will fast forward now to when I have the answer for this resin. And remember, we're doing this at dimensional accuracy, not tensile strength. So I will be using the dimensional accuracy tests of the cones. Yeah, having to do back-to-back prints like this is a real pain in the ass just because of, well, the time it takes, but then also the wasted materials, because you got to do cleanup for every single print. And it's just bloody wasteful, like a set of gloves and all this paper towels and alcohol for every single print. All right, took a few goes, I think 3 prints there, but we've dialed this resin in. And what was really interesting is like at dimensional accuracy, we also had tensile strength from the Sunlu ABS-like, which is a really positive sign. And that was reading dimensional accuracy off of both tests. Yeah, really, really cool and very interesting. Now, I need to edit my profile here. Figured out that 2.5 was way overexposed. 2.25 or 2.3, whatever the second test was getting closer, but still a little bit overexposed. And then 2 seconds was perfect. Let's save that. And now let's print something cool. I want to paint one of those, not jet bikes, the ones contributed by Dow Miniatures, and these are available in the Once in a Six Side welcome pack, so you can get these whenever you're watching this, and I do encourage you to go do it. My Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee numbers are slowly trickling down and down and down, and it's terrifying. So if we could all go sign up to buymeacoffee.com/once in a six side or patreon.com/once in a six side or become a YouTube member with the button down below this video. It's going to be super appreciated. And I've got a ton of rewards to make it worthwhile for you, including this bike. And yeah, there's stuff from Artificer's Mini in there as well. Synergy Studio with these great tanks. There's a bunch of terrain that I've made. And then, of course, we have like all these rewards that are exclusive to the month of May 2024 from Moid, Stoneforge, Cross Lancers, Ravenbones Minis, Steam Tatsu, Artificers Mini, Tractor Minis, DM Stash, Dungeons and Dreadnoughts, Arcane Whiskers, and Imp 3D Xeon. So massive thank you to all of these incredible artists. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Go check out all of their My Mini Factory stores and Patreons and see what they're designing and creating. They're so talented. And okay, back to the video. So yes, we're going to print the Thunder Recon Biker, and this thing's fully pre-supported by yours truly. Also, I've printed a couple of different test fits for the fume adapter ventilation thingy. And we're now on the final model that's printing. So I'll show you that while I talk about it right now on screen, and you can see how that works. And hopefully it's good. And you can find that on MakerWorld. So go grab that if you've got a Halot printer and you want to get those nasty VOCs outside. There's a couple of models I printed in the last video. I want to print them again and put them together in the same way and then paint that. I think that'll be fun. And that is the Thunder Recon Ranger by Dow Miniatures. And then finally, from Artificers Mini, exclusive to this month, the War Mastiff. Look at that cute little doggo. So we're going to grab that. There he is. There's a good little boy. So going to slice this. I can't tell if anything's happening. This is a bit weird. There could be better feedback here from the software. So yeah, right now this little loading progress bar at the bottom just appeared, but there was a good like 10 seconds there where that just nothing was happening, and it was almost like the software froze, which is not very encouraging. Okay, here we go. My God, I love Dynax. I think this took like 2.5 hours to print. I don't know, how tall's that? Maybe like 50 millimeters? Is that good? Is that quick? It felt quick. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I was doing the last video and I was printing cones V2.1, the new beta, that was a 50-minute print, whereas here it was what, 20, 25, something like that? So it's like half the time. Yeah, so everything is there. I'm not seeing a single disconnected tip, which is awesome because we tuned this to dimensional accuracy, but we also saw from our cones of calibration that it was also at tensile strength as well, which is really cool. Really great sign for this resin. So far, yeah, I'm stoked. And again, you can get these models right now on buymeacoffee.com and patreon.com. So I think what I'll do now is I'll get my exposure correct. How about that? So let's pop these off. I want to find something like this, but with a much larger blade. Let me know if you have any suggestions, even if I have to make it myself. But for now, yeah, this little scalpel works quite well. So, all right, let's get these washed up, cured. By the way, I've been using the new-ish Anycubic Wash and Cure 3 Plus or whatever. It's been fantastic. I really like it. This is quite an attractive resin, isn't it? Nice dark gray. These parts, of course, have turned out beautiful. Let's do the removal. Beautiful. Nice, look at that. You know, being able to do your own supports like this is a really great skill, and it does open up 3D printing a whole lot more in terms of like what you're able to actually accomplish with it. If you can also design stuff, then you can also print anything. It's kind of wild. But supporting your own stuff does kind of suck. It's not fun. When I did it professionally, I learned pretty quickly that even though I'm good at it, it's not something I want to be doing. Because it is a ton of work. And it takes so long. Because you got to be willing, when you do supports, you have to be willing to fail. Fail and iterate. Try again until you nail it. I'm going to run a print off now for the next video, but I'm really curious. If we plug this into the top USB port, does it also work? Oh, it looks like it does. Okay, yeah, so you can plug your USB into either USB port. I'm not sure I love this. It's good, I guess, that it copies the file to the printer. So that way, if, the USB drive does become corrupt or, someone bumps into it or whatever, that's not going to affect the print. And I have had that happen. So yeah, I guess that's not a big deal. So let's real quick test a couple more features. The first of which is going to be the pause feature. Let's give that a go. Are you sure you want to pause? Yes. Let's see what it does. Nice. So it comes up nice and quick, and we can see that our print is coming along nicely. So that's good. Now let's resume, and hopefully it'll be fine. We'll see. All right, well, there's our first print of test pieces for our follow-up detailed video. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just pop these off real quick, get them washed and cleaned up, and then we are going to empty out this vat, put in our next resin, calibrate it, shoot me in the face, and yeah, do the rest of these. One thing I want to test real quick actually also is recovery on power loss. So let's get these off and then we'll give that a go. So to wipe down our build plate, should be pretty straightforward here. a little bit annoying in that there's this open space under here, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I got to hand it to Uniformation. The design of their build plate is very cool. The extra thick build plate so nothing gets on top. It's really nice. Frankly, I'd love to see that more than inbuilt heaters. But the trade-off of that is when you have a thick build plate, it displaces a bunch of resin when it enters the vat. So you got to have a much bigger vat design. There's always trade-offs, isn't there, in engineering? All right, that should be good enough. So I'll pop that back in the machine. Let's empty it out and see how well this vat pours. It's probably my least favorite bit of resin 3D printing. Out you come. Here goes. All right, pretty typical. We got runoff down the side, as ever. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Okay, shouldn't have done that. Whoops. That won't happen to you. That's just me trying to share with you how well this thing pours, and then, yeah, fuck. Grab our plastic scraper thingy and very gently just grab that excess resin. Please never forcefully drag these across your FEPs. Even though FEPs are pretty tough, you should treat them as fragile. It's good practice. Okay, so not bad. The only external part of this vat needing a clean is the rim, is the corner right there. So that's good. And then because I'm an idiot, I've also got to clean through these threads. But yeah, not bad. Some folks have asked me why I don't put alcohol in here when I'm cleaning it. And the fact is I do, I just do it last. So I'll wipe it down first, just with dry paper towels, just to get the bulk of the resin out. And then I'll spray some alcohol, usually onto some more paper towel, and then get in there and do it that way. And sometimes you need to add extra alcohol, depending on how stubborn the resin is. But yes, I do like to wash my vats with alcohol. And I've never seen any negative side effects from a vat becoming cloudy over time after many cleanings, because that does seem to be one of the side effects. If you clean your vat with alcohol, you might notice your FEP gets a bit frosty. All right, time for our next victim. This one ought to be pretty fun. PAP 10 from hinges. This one's marketed as a very high detail miniatures resin. Yeah, if you saw my video on this, you know, last year, then you know that this resin I think is like maybe not the best for miniatures. It's extremely brittle, but it's perfect for this upcoming video. So let's see how it goes. Also, I don't think hinges are going to like seeing their resin used on other machines. I'm not doing this to be spiteful. I just know from experience, like I spoke to, like a little while ago, actually probably over a year ago, I had a conversation with a representative from Formlabs. I was trying to get my hands on some Formlabs resin to use in a video, but they were very upfront and honest, which I liked. They basically said, look, love the video idea, but frankly, it would not be good for us to see one of our resins calibrated and working well on a competitor's machine. Which, yeah, that fair enough. Their whole thing is a closed loop, a closed ecosystem, and it's the same with hinges. They don't want you to use other resins with their machine, and presumably they don't want you to use their resins in other machines. Although maybe they don't care, because it's sales, right? And they're making a ton of money on these resins, probably. All right, now for the fun bit. Not really. We have to get this in there and calibrate. Fuck my life. Nah, I love it. hinges resin going into the Creality Halot Mage. That should be enough. Hey, I've got a feeling actually that if we use the pause feature, remember how quick it is, and we use it with a runny resin like this, that it might make an absolute mess, which I don't love the idea of testing, but God, what else is this video for? Pause. I forgot my fucking bolts. Shit. Okay, all right. Well, I guess the dripping is not an issue, but Jesus, rookie mistake. Like and subscribe to my Patreon. All right, place your bets. Does the Halot mage-S come with recovery on power loss? Power it back on. Let's have a look what we got. Is it gonna do it? I'm gonna be so impressed if it has it. Ah, Creality, come on. You've got inbuilt memory. You could have done it. Shame. Now I've got to restart that print. What a bitch. So at this point, I think I'm ready to draw some conclusions about this machine here. I've just looked on Creality's website and they are charging $459 for this machine, which means its competition is the Anycubic Mono M5S Pro and probably the Saturn 4 Ultra. And so if we look at all three of these printers in terms of print quality, they're all phenomenal. Like, it doesn't matter which one you pick, you're going to get great print quality out of all of them. So really it comes down to features. The Halot, no doubt, has the best swingy door, but the Saturn also has a swingy door, but the Saturn does not have a handle, which is a minor gripe. Whereas, yeah, the Creality here has this little handle, which is very nice. Creality's got Wi-Fi connectivity, which I couldn't really figure out. I believe the other two have Wi-Fi connectivity as well. I don't think we're yet to see really good Wi-Fi implementation on any resin 3D printer like we see from FDM machines. You know, stuff running Clipper, like that, where you can just access an interface in your web browser or in the slicer is really awesome. But yeah, all the innovation seems to be coming from everyone else because this is a really lackluster printer in terms of new innovative features. The only improvement really on the last generation is that 14K screen, which in my mind is not an improvement at all because you're not going to be able to tell the difference between 8K and 12K. So who cares about that really? You might as well just buy the 8K version if you're interested in this machine and save some money. Actually, how much is that? Let's check. $279 right now for the 8K version of this. Holy shit, that is a wicked deal. I'm not going to leave, I will leave an affiliate link for this if you do want to pick this up, and that's a little way to help the channel, but I will leave a link to the 8K one as well, because frankly, between the two of them, just get the 8K. So sorry, Creality. What we really wanted to see here, I think, would have been better firmware. So give us a exposure range calibration tool, same as Anycubic and now Elegoo. So you're behind in this department, and I told you to do it, but you didn't do it. And now I got to do all this shit with back-to-back calibration prints. It's infuriating. And I got to do it with like 7 resins too. And I don't have to use your machine for it, Creality. I could easily switch to the Mono M5S Pro for this video, but I want to put myself through this pain to really drive home this point. We need exposure calibration tools built into the firmware or the slicer that works in conjunction with the firmware. I've been saying it for years, and I will continue to say it until everyone's doing it, because this is just such an important aspect to resin 3D printing, is calibrating our exposure value for different resins. So make that easy for us. The next thing is the printers that are coming with inbuilt sensors under the LCD are really, really awesome, because these can do things like tell you if there's rogue cured resin debris inside your vat, so it'll stop your build plate from crushing the LCD. So those are really good, and they're also helping to iron out any inconsistencies in the leveling, so that leveling is less likely to be an issue. I wish they wouldn't market it as self-leveling, because I don't think that's entirely accurate, but whatever. So Creality, you got to give us that. Everyone's doing that now. But big props to you for things like inbuilt ventilation. That is great. Everyone should do that. Yeah, I'm of the opinion now that those little carbon filters are basically useless, at least in terms of health. And the best move is always to just, vent the fumes outside. So the fact that this printer and the previous one comes with built-in fume extraction is just brilliant. Yeah, it's a solid printer. You'll be happy with it if you buy it. It produces gorgeous prints, as would be expected. We just don't have a lot of the innovation that we're seeing from the other manufacturers. So Creality, an easy win for you right now. And I'll tell you what, I'll make you a video about it if you do this. Update the firmware on this machine and the previous generation and all your other Halots, and give them a calibration exposure tool. And I'll make a video about it, praising you for it, because more resin printers need this. Because this process of I don't need to keep repeating myself. Calibrating exposure sucks. Actually, I found the recent Teaching Tech poll results really interesting. It looks like there's a lot of people who actually do enjoy tweaking their settings and dialing things in. I personally am not one of them, but yeah, it just with resin printing, exposure value, this is something that has to be dialed in. But people don't want to do it because it's a pain in the ass because we don't have simple exposure tools. So please. All right, thanks Creality for sending this out. This has been fun. And thank you for coming to visit me as well and letting me ramble on in person to you about what we want from these machines. So that's going to do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed. Please go to patreon.com/once-in-a-six-side or buymeacoffee.com/once-in-a-six-side and become a member. We've got a ton of cool STL files. Yeah, please help me keep this thing going. I'm really having a lot of fun here working from home, making videos. It's kind of been a dream of mine, my entire adult life, is to just not have to get in the car and do the commute and then spend the whole day somewhere else. Yeah. Please subscribe and that. Cheers. See you back here soon. Yeah, I think the video that I'm working on with this is going to be pretty fun. So do check it out. And what else? FL Sun. Look at this. You see that in the background there? Oh, yes. FL Sun S1 coming soon. Oh, before I forget, Sunlu ABS-like. Let's quickly talk about this. So here are some miniatures printed in Sunlu ABS-like. I think they all look phenomenal. No complaints there. Didn't run into any issues printing with it. And yeah, seems like a solid choice for a miniatures resin. Let's have a look at the bendiness. Oh yeah, not bad. That's pretty good. Yeah, I can see why people like this. Yeah, this is an excellent resin. Good stuff. Yeah, that's really good. Let's try cutting at it. Oh wait, no, I can't use this knife. One sec. I'll show you, Mr. Frankenfurter. Oh god. Oh, it seems to shave decently. Oh, I just snapped a bit. Can I snap this one? Uh-oh. Not as durable as the tough resins, but yeah, it's probably good enough, right? How about this piece? Oh yeah, look at that. A little bit crumbly, but yeah, I can shave it. I don't want to push my luck. All right, cool. Thanks for watching. Link down below.
Yeah.
Oh, and keep doing this.
Yeah.
This is amazing. This yeah, that's great.
Why is that?
Because the other thing, you got to find somewhere to put it down, and then like you can see, it's already really cramped in here. I'm limited for space. Yeah, so when I've got like one of these and then a wash and cure, I've got like suddenly the footprint. Yeah. It's double.
Yeah. You have the wash and cure box over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, give us one of those with this too.
Oh.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so you don't have to place it somewhere else.
Yeah. Like this design is so good. I love this. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I think that will be all.
Yeah,
no worries. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.